Yeah, we do have an interesting fight at middleweight, so we're going to end with the big boys. But we have an interesting fight at middleweight. We got your boy Caleb Plant, who is fighting Anthony Dirrell. This is the main event. I mean, this is the co-main event to the return of Deontay Wilder against Robert Helenius. And this one, I was a little surprised that Caleb Plant is a negative 1,000. So he's a 10-1 favorite to win this fight. And Anthony Dirrell is a plus 600. If I was a betting man, I might put some money on that. But there's a lot of angst and kind of anger that is kind of built into this fight here. But Casual, we're gonna kind of stay with you here. So this fight right here is it's two things. It's gonna be the winner is gonna be the person that's gonna be calling out Canelo Alvarez, and the winner is also going to be the person who is avoiding David Benavidez. Who do you think is? I think so, but that's just me.
I don't know. So
go ahead.
This is, to me, this is an interesting fight, right? So Caleb Plant, he is the number one in the WBC, right?
How?
He's number one at WBC. But if Caleb Plant was to win, like his call to rematch Alvarez will fall on deaf ears. Because I think with that fight, the next fight when Alvarez come back, I think he's shooting for John Ryder. But I think if Dirrell was to win, I think Dirrell has a legitimate a chance of calling out Alvarez for the next fight.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. But I think in the public's eye, I think people can digest Dirrell calling out Alvarez and seeing what it was versus another rematch with Plant. Because if Plant wins, then it's going to be easier for Alvarez to be like, "Yo, I already beat him. Let me go to."
Not only that, I smashed you. I knocked you out, and then with Benavidez, he already knocked out Dirrell, right? He stopped him also. So
that's right. What you probably see, the winner of this fight will probably have the task of beating this kid out of France, Christian Mbili. And if you have not seen this kid, Christian Mbili, fight, I don't think Dirrell or Plant want problems with this kid Mbili. Because Benavidez is locked in there as the WBC super champ, right? He's locked in at that spot. This fight is not an eliminator because of David Benavidez's position. Mbili is currently the number 2 guy in the WBC.
So the magic, the question on everybody's mind is Benavidez going to maintain weight for another year?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is, and I asked Dave about this last week. No, he's come out and said that he's willing to fight the winner of Bivol Sudo.
Yeah,
also,
so
which I don't see how that fight happens.
That's going to free a lot of shit up, and then that's going to take the foot off of Canelo's neck. But
it doesn't. Not with this kid Mbili.
I mean,
this kid, have y'all seen him?
He ain't got a name though. He doesn't have a name, so
that's no pressure for Canelo. Come on, like
there's no.
I mean, he's gonna have to defend these belts. He's
but like if this guy's been able to avoid David Benavidez, who everybody and their mama is calling for that fight, this French guy is like he's down in the pecking order.
Well, remember he moved up and challenged for the WBA belts. Right, He lost Canelo. He moved up and challenged Bivol for his WBA belt. Right, his 168 pound light heavyweight. His 168 pound status is then on hold. Right, he loses. He comes back and he does a voluntary against Triple G, which he's entitled to at 168 pounds. So I pick which rules the sanctioning bodies are going to adhere to this time. I'm not sure how much time he's got before these mandatories get called. But Al Heyman and the rest of these guys are going to start making phone calls here and saying, hey, these belts got to get defended at some point, especially if you represent Benavidez, right?
Well, we've talked a lot, but we haven't kind of talked about the fight. Do y'all see Caleb Plant? He is a 10-1 favorite. Like,
I don't see how.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
crazy
see
to
10-1, man.
Let me tell you this.
It's a good fight, though. I think this
seems like good. That seems like a good money bet. 10-1.
Yeah, that's what you should be talking about. That shit, Cam. This is the fight if you want to make a little bit of money. Because if he hadn't have switched trainers and joined with Brett, I don't know if the viewers are aware. He dropped whoever his trainer was for the Canelo fight, and is now for the last almost 8-9 months been training with Stephen Breadman Edwards. So the only reason I might be inclined to pick Caleb Plant is because he is training with Stephen Edwards. And if we're able to see any of that J-Rock skill set in this fight, then I like his chances. If he was still with that other guy, I'm picking Dirrell. And I'm picking Dirrell maybe by stoppage.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I still am not sure I'm going to pick Caleb Plant to win this fight.
So you're not gonna give the people a pick.
I had to think about it. I'm gonna let Dave go and I'm gonna let you go. And I'd like to pick last because I don't know that I'm picking Plant to win this. He really, after that Canelo Alvarez fight, when I heard that footage of him asking Canelo, telling Canelo he respected
I'm pretty
his
good.
skill.
Yeah, I respect you too.
I ain't never heard no shit, man. That shit right there made me lose a lot of respect for this guy, man. And trying to talk to this dude in the ring and asking for Canelo's validation in the ring. And I'm better than I thought you were, than you thought I was, aren't I? That's some shit right there, Joe. I don't like what you got, how you put together up there, all that shit. Validation seeking from your opponent, all that bullshit. Nah, he lost me. He really did.
All right, Coach Dave. So, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know this one, man. I think the fight go in either way. I kind of a little bit to Jerry's point, man. A little bit to his point, man. I do think Dirrell got a little bit more dog in him, though. I do.
But to be a plus 600 underdog.
Yeah, but we all seen them dudes fight. It's not that wide a margin, right? I mean,
it's not. I don't like. It is not.
That's crazy.
Unless they just think that he just doesn't have much left in him. I mean, his last. Well, I will say that his last two fights, his last three fights was. He lost to David Benavidez was September 28th, 2019. Then he didn't fight again until 2021.
That was Kyron Davis, right?
Davis, and it was a draw. I
thought he lost that fight.
Yeah, and then he won against Marcos Hernandez and
stopped him.
Stopped him in the fourth round. This was in November of 2021.
How old is? Is Father Time catching up with this guy?
He's 37. He's 37 years old.
Yeah. Damn. He's 37. I didn't realize he's 37.
37.
But look, we know Plant ain't stopping him. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish, Dave. Finish.
I'm go with Plant, man.
You got Plant. Okay. The casual one. So, and before you do that, I'll give Caleb Plant's last three fights. He's 30 years old, so time is still on his side. But he lost TKO to Canelo Alvarez in November 6, 2021. He beat Caleb Truax in Truax, excuse me. Caleb Truax in January 30th of 2021. And then he knocked out Vincent Feigenbutz. This was February the 15th in 2020.
So
he's beat absolutely nobody. His best win is Uzcategui. Is his best win, and that's a solid win, especially given what we know about Uzcategui, right? He was probably on PEDs for that fight because he popped positive after that. Go ahead. Sorry, Randy. I had to throw that in there.
So I mean, this fight is to be Mr. Irrelevant. Like, so if Dirrell wins, like you said, he's 37 years old. He's not going to be progressed to be the champion. Caleb Plant win, he just got knocked out, so nobody's going to give him the chance. So this fight right here is for relevancy, or that, like Jared says, fight the Christian Billy guy.
I don't know. I think maybe Randy, depending on what happens business-wise, and if PBC can't get a deal done with the network here, maybe the winner of this fight is able to go to ESPN and get a fight with Edgar Berlanga. Because if I'm top ranking ESPN, I'm looking to set up Berlanga for a comeback fight, for a Canelo Alvarez fight sometime next year.
Yeah, that's if you're gonna cash out on Berlanga. Come on, we've seen this guy fight, man. This guy has fought like trash competition.
Fair enough. But I mean, like Randy said, there ain't a whole lot left. I mean, there's Danny Jacobs, who is kind of a if you got the money, I'll fight kind of guy.
Yeah.
In Bealey, I'm not sure who he's aligned with promotionally. John Ryder is over on Matchroom. Jacobs, I think, is still technically a Matchroom guy, but he's advised by Al Heyman. You've got Jesse Hart, who apparently is going to be fighting Benavidez here at the end of the year. That's the word on the street. The rest of these guys here, I mean, you've got Morrell. Now, that's a fight that could be made. They're both Dirrell.
Isn't he fighting soon? He's fighting this year.
He is, but he can get the winner of Dirrell and Plant in the late winter, early spring. That, promotionally speaking, is the easiest fight to be made on the PBC side. You take the winner of this fight and you throw him in there against Morrell, and you hope that Benavidez moves up to 175 pounds, even though PBC doesn't have the inventory at 175 pounds. Otherwise, you're going to have Benavidez sitting around waiting.
It's a shame. Why would not anybody fight this guy? But
because he's gigantic. That's why he should have been fighting at 175 pounds.
Why? If he can make the weight, that's like the guy Fundura who just fought this weekend.
I agree with you. Fundora is Mexican Jared Hurd. He's gonna get his ass kicked here soon enough. You put him in there. You put him in there with the right guy.
That's Dave guy. You know what I'm saying? He's getting ready to get lumped up soon.
Well, for the record, I said Xander Zayas is my guy. I like Fundora though, but for the record, Xander.
You did. Right, Dave is big on Xander.
You gotta, so you taking Caleb Plant on the plus 1,000. I'm
taking Plant on this, man.
Negative 1,000 or the Anthony Dirrell plus 600.
I'm taking Plant by decision. It's gonna go 12.
All right.
Now, make this short. I'm gonna go with Dirrell. If I had seen Plant in a fight with Breadman already, I'd have more to go off of. So I'm going off of the last version of Caleb Plant that I saw. I gave this motherfucker the benefit of the doubt in that Canelo fight, and I'm not doing that with any more fighters ever again. I'm going off of that same Caleb Plant, the guy that gets on his pogo stick and gets on his bike, won't sit down on his shots. And I think he gets walked down towards the end of this fight. He gets walked down. I think he gets stopped. I think Dirrell might have to lose a point or two to get the stoppage. I think you're going to see some old man dirty shit from Dirrell. You might see some low blows. You might see a little head buttage early. I think he'll lose a point to get that stoppage later in this fight. I'm going to go with Anthony the Dog Dirrell in the 11th round.
All right, Coach Dave.
I tell you,
what say you?
I'm going with Plant, man. I'm going with Plant.
I think that's a good shot. I so want to. I'm not even a betting guy, but at those odds, I so want to go with Anthony Dirrell. But
why the fuck not? Throw a little $20 on there, right?
I know at this age and stage of his career, and I think that Caleb Plant, it might be warranted, but he has he gets a little bit of a bad rap. But I think that he does win this fight by a unanimous decision. So with that said, we are going to end this segment.